Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Cancer, it's for you. But remember, there's no astrology in these, so check them out for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So remember, these are general readings. They're not, not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. And I will say, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, and you want some of that weekly Rafi love, click the subscribe button. All right, so your key to the week this week is the Justice card, right? So this week, it really is about commitment. This is about how far you are willing to go. How long are you in it? How much can you really show up in the way that is kind of necessary to get something finished, done, or over the finish line. I will say about this card as well, it does speak to our level of commitment, and it can speak to contracts as well. So it may very well be that in all of these different areas of life, you are expected to show up or to bring a new level of commitment in some regard. For your actions and options, look at that, right? Love this. There is potentially a lucrative opportunity on the horizon for you. I actually love this because the Two of Wands has a very affluent feel to it. And it also, so in the Thoth Tarot by Aleister Crowley, the Two of Wands actually represents what he called the Lord of Dominion. And I love this card because it basically, like, lots of people say like, oh, this is that you can't make a decision. And I'm like, okay, no. This card means that you are able to make decisions, that you're in the process of taking some sort of action that really leads you towards having the best of what you can. Now, with the Justice card, this is a contract or a commitment that potentially takes you towards a very lucrative opportunity, but you do have to decide whether you are in it or whether you are out, all right? Now, when it comes to your the options that are available to you, this will be mixing with new types of people. It's going to be you testing your mettle, right? It's not about courage. This is about having the conviction and the commitment to see something through. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Nine of Pentacles. I love this card as well. This is a card of refinement, a card of beauty, and it also represents Venus in Virgo. This is pretty words, right? And this week right? This week, my dear Cancers, you know how to charm the birds from the trees. It's very interesting as well, because obviously this week we've got the eclipse. So I'm intrigued about this because it means that there's obviously something that you've got a way of speaking. I can't stop smiling. I don't know why, but it's just that I feel like there's going to be an element of this for you where you really are at your absolute best. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, that Nine of Pentacles, it's you having the best experience educationally that your money can buy, right? And this with the Two of Wands, you might find that this is something reveals itself to you to just be, you know what, this was worth it. This was the right thing for me to do. You've put an investment into your future in some regard, and it's paying off in spades. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, you're having a great experience with your employer this week. And with this Justice card here, this is potentially new work that comes out of the work that you already have that is just like a bonus or a top up. It could also suggest as well for some of you that maybe you complete a project this week and then you kind of get a moment to, you know, after you could, like, you finish a big project and it's launched and it's out into the world, and then you're like, this kind of feels like that, right? You've got a moment to sort of stop and savor it and sort of smell the roses, as they say. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is you building a plan for the future, and the commitment that you're making this week is to making something look, feel, and sound the absolute part. I love this for you. I really, really do. And then for those of you that are retired and no longer working, again, this is looking to create the best experience that you can have, that your money will absolutely afford you, right? And it's not about, it doesn't have to be, so I'll give you an example. Everybody likes to buy, a takeaway, right? And we all like to order pizza once in a while, right? There's that, right? However, you can buy one from the supermarket and you add a little extra cheese, you put some herbs and some extra this and some cheese, just some bits and bobs. And before you know it, it's just as good as anything that you could buy in the store. If you are retired and no longer working, I think this is you starting to realize that with a bit of effort and commitment, you won't actually need to scrimp and save, and you can have just the same experience, providing you're willing to make some shifts and some compromises here and there. For your love and relations, you've got the Page of Cups. If you are single, this week is a really good week for connecting to or meeting somebody. And with this Two of Wands, this person is either very well traveled. With the Nine of Pentacles, they're probably very good looking, or at least very good, very easy on the eyes. The Page of Cups is a new relationship that is budding. It's just in the romance stages, right? What we've got at the moment is flirtation and fun and giggles and, little nudges and all of that kind of stuff. I love this for you because it's new love, right? It's the prospect of new love. And for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, that long-awaited return to the honeymoon energy is definitely in the air. There's something about this card for love that always makes me hear, I don't know if you've heard Katy Perry's "You Make Me Feel Like I'm Living a Teenage Dream." Like, there's something about this that takes you back to that sort of, like the mushy puppy love, like when you fancy someone, even as an adult, it makes you feel like a little bit silly and giggly and all of that stuff, right? Like, I don't know whether it's just me, because if you've been with me long enough, you know this. I am a hopeless romantic. I love it all. I love the flowers. I love the rom-coms. All of that. Oh, and they said this to me, and I love all of that. That's me, right? And I'm a Cancer moon, so it kind of makes sense, right? All the mush, all the feels, love all of that. And then obviously, I've got this big burly thing going on, so I'm a bit of a teddy bear in that regard, right? But I love this, and I think if you can hold on to that throughout your life, whether you're single, whether you're partnered, is irrelevant. If you can hold on to that love of love, where it makes you giggly and giddy and, like, if you can hold on to all of that, I think it's a good way to go through life, right? You'll always be heading in the right direction because you're allowing this to lead. Rafi's sermon over. For your money and materials, you've got the Hermit card. So when it comes to your finances and your resources, you've got the Hermit. If you've been with me long enough, you've heard me say when the Hermit shows up, the High Priestess has a message for you. You've been thinking a lot about a financial commitment or a move that you would like to make, that you understand or know intrinsically that it will be financially viable. But when it comes to money, everybody's slightly emotional. And so there's a part of you that's like, oh, you're second guessing yourself. You don't need to, right? Trust yourself here. What I will say with the Hermit, strip it back to basics. Don't embellish. Don't, pretend that it's going to be more than it is. Look at it objectively. But it looks like you've done your research, right? So you're in a good space. The other thing is with this Nine of Pentacles, the Hermit card is number 9. And obviously the Nine of Pentacles. So 2 nines represents receipts, which means whatever purchase you make this week, either do keep the receipt, or if you're planning to put money into an investment of some sort, do your research. Look back over the data that already exists in order for you to make this move, right? For me, it looks like you've done your research, but don't be afraid to do a little more. When it comes to your physical health and vitality. This is a new commitment to physical health and vitality, in particular for a lot of you, about your diet, what you eat, how much you eat, when you eat, all of that. It looks like a lot of you might be starting a calorie counting journey, as opposed to, you know, oh, I'm going to do this extreme thing or inject myself with Ozempic or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It looks like you're doing something that you know is going to take time, but you know it's also effective, right? When it comes to your home and environment, the Hermit card, this might be a week where you spend an extended period of time on your own in some regard. That's very, very possible. Because it's the Hermit, right? There's no getting around that. Another way that this could also show up is that you find yourself maybe looking at contracts for living situations where you are living alone, or where you are seeking to change or shift or adapt your living situation in some regard. With that said, if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Have a wonderful week ahead. Take care, and I'll see you soon.